Do you have any pity for this man? Any sympathy at all?
I'm trying to rationalize that, he uses people and their weakness to profit from it. But everyone's just trying to survive, right? And so am I.
You drink your fill. You're no longer hungry. Do you stop before the last terminal beat?
Yeah, I would like to do that.
You take what you need, but not what you want. And you make your way back to the club. We're at the helipad. Ray has been standing up here in the cold and the wind for quite some time. Obviously, the weather doesn't bother him nearly as much as it used to. You recognize the sharp-faced man from down with Donatello coming up to you. He gives you an envelope.
Hey, thanks.
Mr. Giovanni's regards to you. There's a bit of paperwork in there. Allow you to make an introduction to Mr. Zingaretti down at the Three Bears.
Got it, Zingaretti.
That's right, Thomas Zingaretti. He runs the casino down there. He's he ain't like you, but he is one of us.
Wow, that could mean a dozen different things, but thanks. Have you been down there?
He rolls his eyes. You know something, Mr. Molina? Ever since my father and my father's father were all in this business. And whenever the Bureau started getting on their asses, it stopped being fun for them. You understand? It was always fun when you could play like it was the Wild West in the streets. But then a decade would come around, people would start dying, people would start getting locked up, RICO raps, that kind of thing. So, I gotta tell you, it is fucking annoying to be talking old cloak and dagger all the time, when all I want to be able to say to you is, Zingaretti is a blood junkie. A ghoul.
You know, if I can have honesty, I'll overlook a lot of shit. Thanks. I won't forget it.
Yeah, it's alright. You can remember. My name is Spike. You'll remember that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I probably will.
Safe travels, Mr. Molina. Oh, by the way, you ain't just going to have your bodyguard with you. Mr. Giovanni's sending another two down there with you. I'm sure you'll make good friends on the trip. It's quite a nice ride down there.
Mr. Giovanni didn't mention anybody else.
They came in after you.
Huh. Okay, who are they?
Some schmuck called John Smith. He's a knee breaker, you know.
Yeah, I got my own knee breaker, but okay, whatever.
Lots of knee breaking. And the other one is some little orphan Annie tragic case. You know how the Geos sometimes like to bring the black sheep into the family because they see a dark gift in them, all that? Well, she's one of them. So she'll be looking at you all spooky and shit. She's like a sacred calf, so don't piss her off and just keep her safe. It'll be good for her to see the world, no?
Terrific. Just what I need. Thanks. Appreciate the tip-off. I won't forget that either.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. You and I, Lee said, I know what it's like to be on the outside looking in. Anyway, safe trip.
Thanks. God, where is she? How long does it take to get a bite around here? It's New York freaking City. It's the biggest city in America. How long could it possibly take her?
As he opens the door to go down, Maria exits, emerging onto the helipad, shortly followed by the backpack-laden John Smith and the more strident now, since she started declaring death, Natalie.
Take a look at these two. Okay, well, he looks... Yeah, okay. Leg breaker, arm breaker, jaw breaker. Yep. And... Whoa. Okay. Raymond's trying to figure out exactly what Natalie is all about here.
John and Natalie, you see these other two on the helipad. You were told that you'd be going down with them, and the blades are starting to turn.
Yeah, I head out onto the helipad, look over the two. Not initially sure which one's the VIP and which one's the bodyguard to the VIP. So I just go over and smile and say, "Hey, here to offer assistance, John Smith."
Hey, Ray Milliner. Good to meet you. This is Maria.
Maria, pleasure to meet you. Milliner. Hey, that sounds real familiar.
Yeah, so does Smith.
Well, Smith is a rather generic. Milliner, on the other hand, ain't you guys involved in something, big money?
That would be putting it mildly.
Right. I'm guessing then you're the VIP. Cool. We're here to, help you out, kill whoever we need to kill, and, bring back some evidence for Donatello.
Everybody seems so certain this is going to end with, well, of course it is. All right, great. Great to have you along. Natalie, I'm Ray. This is Maria. Good to meet you.
Hello.
Okay, shall we go? Bird's waiting.
Sure. I do a quick inventory check, sort of patting myself down, making sure I have all my things. This is a common thing for me. I go to the chopper to throw my bag in, and I look to Natalie, and I say, "Hey, I realized, I assumed, because, you know, you're part of the family, but what sort of, like, you done this sort of thing before?"
Killing people?
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Right. Oh, good. Okay.
I usually deal with them when they are dead already. It's easier like that.
I wrinkle my nose a little and say, "Alright, you, yeah, you're into that sort of thing. I know a few of us are. I can't say I am,
And sometimes when there aren't any, fresh specimens, we need to make some of our own.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's really annoying like that.
Well, hopefully, as Mr. Milliner said, hopefully we're just gonna kill one guy or girl and, leave it there. Also, hey, Maria. I guess you're the other bodyguard. Hi.
Hello. I wasn't informed about there being another bodyguard. I look over to Raymond for reassurance.
Well, I don't know about your two's outfit, but Donatello calls the shots around here. He told me, I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you. I don't really have a choice, you know.
I'm going to look at Raymond. Are you famous or something?
Yes. Yes, I am. No, not really.
The helicopter pilot slides the window aside and says, "Are you getting in or not? There's burning fuel."
Yeah, keep your shirt on. Okay, let's go. He gestures at the helicopter.
I nod and go to open the door, and then I pause and look at Natalie and Maria and say, after you two.
Ray, you see the helicopter pilot shake his head and mouth, "For fuck's sake."
Just get in.
Well, Natalie jumps in.
I will then jump in after, going to the back seats if possible.
I'm next.
The pilot shouts back as you take off, "Put on the headsets."
I do so, taking a moment to feel around the roof of my mouth. With my tongue, I can just about feel one of those knocked out teeth very slowly starting to grow back.
The journey down is in decent weather, and so you're able to make it in the course of a couple of hours, just over. On your way down, introductions are made. You get to know each other a little better. I doubt any deep family secrets are shared. Is there anything in particular that you want to make exchanges about as you travel, or is it all small talk?
I would ask Ray if he has any details, as I've not been given them, on exactly who we're supposed to be cracking the skull of, and where.
Are you kidding? We'd never be given that kind of head start. The best we've got on a leg up is to start with the owner of the casino, Mr. Zingaretti. Evidently works for the family. Hasn't come over to our side yet, though.
Oh, I see. All right. I guess that's somewhere to start. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Three Bears, although as long as we're traveling, I might as well check it out. So Ray is going to spend a little time on his phone looking at whatever public information is available about the Three Bears. No doubt it's the same ridiculously boring marketing information that you can find on every casino in Atlantic City, but just in case. Maybe it's been involved in, I don't know, who knows, some kind of fraud case lately.
That's good thinking, Ray, because, the website itself for the Three Bears is just a place you'd go to book hotel rooms, see where the blackjack tables are, so you can go there straight away. But looking at the news associated with the Three Bears tells you a couple of more interesting things. While there hasn't been any devastating news in the last few years, there has been extension and remodeling of the casino in the last 2 years. Prior to that, 4 years ago, there was a shooting just outside the casino that made the headlines. It was assumed to be gang-related, but despite the Three Bears appearing frequently in the headlines to do with this killing, it was never, from what you can see, directly attached to this murder. By looking up some of the financials, it's not that difficult to find through a website who either owns the website and therefore who might be connected to the company. You start seeing some familiar law firms, some familiar names.
Right. People
who are attached to your interests as well, maybe just tangentially. But you think there's, if you need to, there's some calls you could make probably tomorrow night now. If you needed to find out about the background workings of the casino.
I'll make a mental note to do that.
Zingaretti himself is on the website as the owner and operator of the casino. So this is not some silent partner. This is the squeaky clean frontman, to the point that his public information is very accessible. Despite being an Italian-American, he has not had an Italian-American business owner. He has not been dragged through the press for potential mob association. And for all intents and purposes, it seems his connections are to media, notably the music industry. Before he was involved in casinos, he was a record producer.
That is all very interesting. It's not really related to what we're doing, but I doubt like hell I was going to find a signed confession online anyway.
Not this time. Anyone else doing anything of note before you arrive down at Atlantic City?
Mostly small talk. I'm trying to gauge who these two additions to the mission, like who they are they stable, or am I gonna have to keep an extra eye on them? Can I trust them to take the mission seriously, or are they looking after themselves mostly?
On the subject of are they stable, any small talk that you make with Natalie very swiftly turns to the morbid. Natalie, what do you make of Maria and her admittedly idle questioning?
Right now, the only thing Natalie's thinking about is what body part she should bring back. So she's just answering very briefly, as she's just contemplating what would be the best thing to bring. I don't think bringing an eye back would be a good idea, because it's so, squishy. It'll just disappear. I'll just drop it somewhere. Maybe it's better with a hand? What do you think?
Why not just the entire head?
It's really heavy though. Have you ever held a head? It's one of the heaviest body parts of the human, except from the femur. And how am I supposed to hide a head? I mean, it could be really good. I'd love to bring a head, but it's just so cumbersome.
I'm sure that you'll find a way.
Maybe an ear.
It becomes apparent fairly early on that the helicopter pilot has turned his headset off so that he doesn't have to listen to this exchange. And it may well be that others among you in the coterie have done the same thing as Natalie goes deeper and deeper into, it's not even underworld humor, just underworld thought.
I would listen in. I find it a bit creepy, but then again, I know a lot of people these days who talk like that, although she really does seem really into it. If I'm asked any questions, on the other hand, I would come across as eager to work with Maria. I'll smile, I crack a few jokes. I don't really answer much about myself, but I seem happy to chat and be willing to be a team player.
You arrive on the casino rooftop. It is around 3 a.m. The pilot waves you off, takes off, and an usher emerges on the roof, a couple of them, to take you down in an elevator, shouting over the sound of the rotor blades. Mr. Molina, right?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, calm down.
Hey, great, thanks.
This your party, huh?
This is everybody. Can we see Mr. Zingaretti? It's getting late.
He looks you over. Traveling light, huh? That's fine. We can sort you out with fresh laundry, compliments of the house. Mr. Zingaretti will meet you. Just get acquainted with where you're staying and then make your way straight there. You can find him in the office suites. No problem.
All right, thanks. Let's follow this guy down.
He shows you to the penthouse, which is where the four of you have been booked in. No expense spared. The cleaner is leaving just as you arrive. We only just heard you were coming a couple of hours ago, so we had to, get rid of the existing guests to make room for the new ones.
No problem. I know how it goes. Nice. This is nice.
Oh yeah. If views are your thing, you can see right over the ocean out that window there. Yeah, that panorama looks fantastic during the day, and he looks at you if that's your thing. But yeah, Mr. Zingaretti is on the 5th floor. You exit the 5th floor. The first doors you see, they're gold. That's Mr. Zingaretti's. I'll let you all get comfortable and have a good night. And he leaves quite quickly. You're not sure whether he knows what you are, but you know that he doesn't want to hang around you.
I look around the room for a moment, let out a low whistle, and say, "Hey, this is pretty fancy. I ain't had fancy digs like this for, I don't know when I had fancy digs like this."
That's all right. I mean, it's Atlantic City. Come on. How nice can it possibly be?
Hey, not all of us go, what, do you go world hopping or something, Mr. Ray?
I don't travel as much as I used to. I don't think any of us do, but I've been around. Maria, what do you think? Will it work? And if we have to make a stand here, what do we do?
I want to have a look at windows, because that is a very big structural weakness, and we don't really want to have any morning sun suddenly sneak up on us.
Well, the good news is you are around 20 floors up. So in terms of people breaking in through the window, that would take some time. However, windows letting in sunlight is more of an issue. There is a massive panoramic window that goes from floor to ceiling, stretches from east to west, and takes up the entire front of this room. The good news is you're not all sleeping in the living room. And while this penthouse certainly has rooms with ocean views, it also has rooms that are completely interior. They were, you suspect from marks on the floor, at some point used as rooms for gambling. You can basically room service your own croupier to come up here and start dealing. Likewise, there's a private bar in here. You can room service your own barman and he will stay up here for the entire night if you want. But right now, the room is vacant, which means you can use those rooms for sleeping, and beds have been put in there for that purpose. You think it isn't just a cleaner who's been fussing around in this room for the last 2 hours. It's probably the majority of the casino's staff have been setting this up for you.
Convenient that they would put beds in the windowless room.
Well, obviously someone knows about what we're doing, right? I guess I won't have to use my sleeping bag.
You brought a sleeping bag to a hotel?
Hey, you never know where you're gonna end up, Mr. Milliner. Sometimes you need a bag, you know?
I'm gonna take your word for that.
You never know who had sex on these beds anyway.
Thank you for that mental image, Maria.
You are very welcome.
As I sort of assist Maria in sort of also doing a little quick survey around the room, I do just go to Natalie and say, hey, what do you think? Pretty fancy room, no?
It's bright.
It reminds Natalie quite strongly of the places you used to go to get high. It's not often that you think back to your night as a party girl, where you were constantly getting your hits from Sammy G and people like him. But the number of penthouses, plush apartments overlooking the village, all of that. Yeah, it's the same kind of split level shit with expensive throws and rugs and real furs on the walls. Yeah, this is all bringing you back.
It's big.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, you could fit a whole freaking family in here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Crucially, there's only 2 ways in and out of this apartment that you can see. There's the elevator that takes you straight to it. You assume that it's private, that other guests can't just rock up to the penthouse whenever they choose. And there's also a staircase door. The door to the staircase is locked from your side. So usually this is the way service would come up. To sneak around while you're asleep and clean the place up so that when you wake up fresh in the morning if you're alive, or at night if you're dead, everything is back to where it should be. But those are the only methods of egress from this penthouse.
This casino, allegedly the source of the leak, but the only contact we have is Mr. Zingaretti. We don't know who else is hanging around here. We don't know who works for the casino. We don't know who works for the people who work for the casino. So basically what we got is a big ball of nothing.
What are you talking about?
They didn't brief you?
Nah, that's why we were asking you.
Okay. Well, everybody get comfortable for a minute and let's go over why we're here. Wow. Okay. Does the promise mean anything to you, Natalie and John?
The concept of a promise? Or the promise?
Okay.
I just look blankly.
Terrific. All right, so quick history lesson. The promise is a binding agreement that our... Maria, can we talk in here? Is this place,
You want me to look for bugs?
Yeah, let's just spell it right out for the nice eavesdroppers. Please.
Can I use my heightened senses for this in any way?
Yeah. As a group, you're able to basically pick through the furniture, look in the light fittings, and in Natalie's case, use her heightened senses, trying to pick up whether there's any kind of recording device, something producing feedback, anything of the like. And Maria, you check everywhere that you would put a bug. And you don't find anything. The place seems secure. John, likewise, while this isn't your field, you lift some cushions, you check behind the TV, that kind of thing. You're not seeing any microphones, large, small, or otherwise. Natalie, with your heightened senses, you wander the length and breadth of this penthouse, and it is large. It takes you a while to walk every square foot. But you're listening out for a whistling or a whining or something that might give some kind of recording device away. And you do find something. In the private bar, just adjoining the main room, underneath one of the draft beer taps, you find a not microscopic, but a thumb-sized microphone, and the wire just loops back down to around where the fridge is plugged in.
I'm gonna rip it out.
You do so. There's no sparks, no noise, it just comes out.
I got this. It was underneath the bar. I think it's a microphone.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Good find. That would be a bug, I think.
Yeah. Well, aren't you a smart cookie?
Nicely done.
Should I just throw it out, or what do I do with it?
Hang on to it for now, would you mind?
I'm gonna open a little baggie I have, and you can hear teeth still down there as I open it, and I put the microphone in and close it again.
You think it's about time to see Mr. Zingaretti. Time is running out tonight, and story time for the family is just going to have to wait.
Yes, let's pay a call on Mr. Zingaretti before it's too late.
The penthouse elevator has the key inside it. Therefore, once you take it, in theory, you four will be the only people able to go up and down to the penthouse.
Convenient. Let's do that.
You make your way down to the 5th floor. Doors open, and sure enough, as directed, there are 2 doors just a ways down a corridor. You don't think they're genuinely made of gold, but they are painted and styled and sculpted quite beautifully to look like they are. And there is a plaque quite brazenly advertising the office of Mr. Zingaretti. There is a receptionist's desk just beyond, but no one is working there at this time of night.
Well, then I guess we go in. No one here to meet us, though.
Is this the guy we killed?
What?
Is this the guy we killed?
No. Hold your horses. We're not just gonna kill anyone. We have a specific target in mind, and we don't know yet who it might be. So there's a bit of a hunt.
So we're killing someone, but not him.
We don't know yet. Keep your eyes peeled.
One of the doors opens slightly, and a slender figure, bald on top, grey hair around the sides, thick eyebrows, peers out. He looks like an owl. Oh, it's you. Yeah, come in. Wondered who was making all that racket. Come in. Sorry, there was no one to meet you. I didn't know how long you'd be.
I smile, I nod, and otherwise just fall in line behind Ray, sort of taking the opposite position to where Maria is, sort of flanking both Raymond and Natalie.
And the man is continuing to babble. It's been a busy night at the casino, lots of things going on. Oh yeah, there's so many things going on, I can't tell you. It's been a busy one. Is that all of you? Close the door behind you, would you be so kind, dear? He says to Natalie. Lots of seats, sit on the chaise lounge. It's beautiful. It's come all the way over from France. Does anyone want a drink? No, of course not. So what'll it be? You here to empty my pockets or what?
You're Zingaretti.
Oh, that's it, me, guilty as charged. What can I say? I'm always excited to meet someone from up the coast, but I'm always a little... it's exciting.
I'm Ray Milliner. These are my associates, Maria, Natalie, and Mr. John Smith.
He steps from around the desk that he had just ducked behind, comes back around, his hand outstretched to shake your hand, Ray.
Oh, I'll shake it all right.
His hand is clammy like a fish.
Yeah, what a shock.
He nods to the other three. What can I say? I don't often get visits down from New York, so I wasn't as prepared as I would have liked to be, but I guess that's the trick, isn't it? I always got to stay on the ball. Maybe I should always keep the penthouse empty just in case. What's it been? Probably been at least 6 months since someone came down needing to use the penthouse, where you're using the penthouse. You notice he's got this very irritating rasp.
I smile, and my gaze just starts assessing the room, the exits. Is it just us in the room? And finally settling on this ghoul and trying to get a read on what sort of person they are. Well, I can deduce anyway.
Well, the room is empty except for your group and Mr. Zingaretti. It's decently appointed. It's a little over the top. There's a big map of Atlantic City behind his head on the wall that's been stylized to look like art. It doesn't. There's a few ocean pieces on the walls and lots of trophies, awards from the Games Commission, things like that, and certificates on the walls to declare what an up-and-coming and legitimate business enterprise the Three Bears Casino happens to be. Zingaretti himself has certificates as well, bearing his name, authorizing him as a casino operator in New Jersey.
Any cameras or obvious ones?
Nothing obvious. The only thing trained on you occasionally is Zingaretti's eyes that are darting between the four of you so quickly he could be on cocaine. And yeah, he just seems a bundle of nerves.
Does this seem as if he's just a nervous person, or does it seem as if maybe he's very nervous at us being here?
He's definitely nervous about you being here. You've never heard of anything about him to know whether this is normal behavior.
Such a lovely penthouse that you have. I am surprised that it's been so long. 6 months, you say?
Well, we're kind of left to do our own thing down here.
Who were the last visitors, if I may ask?
It's against hotel policies to give out names of our guests, ma'am. I hope you understand. But they're friends of ours, I'm sure you understand.
Well, I just thought that it might be of interest for us to know in case they left something in there.
Well, I mean, there was a guest in there just tonight before you arrived. We had to clear them out when I heard you were coming. If I'd known in advance, I would have never let the room out.
Oh, that's interesting, because you just said 6 months ago.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being clear. I take it on myself. It's clearly I'm doing... let me be clear. The members of our operation were last in the penthouse 6 months ago. And since then, it's just been, Johnny Schmo off the street, but, with a fat wallet.
Yeah, we get it. Calm down. Relax.
He's wiping his hands on his suit now.
While everyone is talking to this guy, Natalie is gonna wander around the room as he's not really paying that much attention to her. I would like to activate my heightened senses again. And I'd like to see if there's anything off about this room. And also if I can detect any bugs.
As you're walking the floor again, you're not picking up any bugs. In terms of whether something is off about the room, you can feel a breeze from underneath the wall at one place, which is a bit strange. Either there's some very loose masonry, or there's a room behind the wall with a window open, which is more likely. But the wall itself looks solid.
Is there a door on the wall?
No.
So I can feel a breeze through a wall.
Underneath, essentially at carpet level. If you decide to lay on your front on the carpet to look, you might see a crack, but that could also rouse suspicion.
Can I, leave for a second? I just need to get some, air. Fresh air.
You'll need the, young lady, you'll need the key to get back up to this floor.
I just need to get out of the room. I have claustrophobia.
Yeah, don't go farther than the corridor, though.
Okay, I just, I need to leave for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sure.
I'm gonna leave the room.
I'll look at John, raising an eyebrow. What the?
So how is it that I can help you, Sorry. How is it that I can help you?
I quickly just smile at Ray and say, it's fine. Yeah, Mr. Milliner, why don't you tell him why we're all here?
I'm going to make myself comfortable in the most comfortable place I can find.
You find a lovely leather chair that is just about perfect for you.
Ah, nice. Okay, Mr. Zingaretti, you're right. We are here to collect for Donatello, Mr. Giovanni, in New York City. We're also here to ask a few questions.
Questions? I'm an open book. I'm always happy to do a favor for Mr. Giovanni in New York City.
We're very impressed by your operation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good profit record. Nice revenue sharing.
We try hard, and fewer tourists come to AC every year in favor of Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Looks like you're making the best of a difficult situation, though.
Oh, sure. We got I've got friends, a few politicians here and there. We got good links with the natives on the res nearby. It's all on the up and up.
About that, how many of our non-familial associates would you say are enjoying your hospitality these nights?
I don't make it a business trend to let out rooms to our business associates. They have their own places to stay in the city. Mine is more for people passing through. But I am I guess you could say, the central, the waypoint for members of the family who need to meet, and it's something on neutral ground. AC has there's only there's 4, and he holds his fingers up, and you notice that the little finger is significantly shorter than it should be. It seems to have been cut off at some point down to the middle knuckle. 4 of the family in AC, and they don't always see eye to eye. So this is the place where they come to break bread. They don't use the penthouse. That's for travelers, but they'll use meeting rooms. Sometimes they'll gamble together. Sometimes they'll just exchange information on territory or mutual interests. It's completely over my head. I don't choose to get myself involved in it. My job is to run the casino, and what happens in their meetings is completely private to them.
Right, well, first of all, who are they? We'll need to know that. And also, what we were getting at was, who of the family who's not our family do you see? Other families.
Mr. Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, with all due respect to yourself and Mr. Giovanni, Mr. Molina, the young lady, I wouldn't be in business for long if I was just giving up the names of exclusive guests.
So are you saying that you do deal with people who ain't us?
Well, Mr. Smith, please, sir, with all due respect, I ain't you. My surname don't begin with a G, and I've got I just run a casino and a hotel.
Sure, we understand. Relax, calm down. We understand the position you're in, and we appreciate it. This isn't an easy job. There have to be a lot of pressures on you.
And hey, my name don't begin with a G either. I'm just saying, obviously, from what I've been told, other families and our family, we don't really deal. Ever, really, if we can avoid it, so...
Well, the situation in... The situation in AC is very complicated, Mr. Smith, Mr. Molina, young lady. This isn't just a family interest in Atlantic City. For quite a while, I was twisted in the wind, and so I had to get my patronage where I could, you understand? And so I spent some time sniffing the flowers and making good with the natives, and some of them put a bit of money my way, and so I extended some courtesy to them. When I was left in the cold, I had to get the support where I could. You understand?
I frown a little, and I just look to Ray.
Ray's not smiling either. Yes, I'm sure we do understand that a person in your position has to make very difficult choices. Often all choices are bad, and yet you still have to choose. So I get it. I really do. I appreciate it. Be that as it may, it really wasn't a choice that we were offering you. You say your job is to run this casino. If you'd like to keep your job and keep running the casino, I would recommend answering our questions. I'm no expert, but it seems like a good idea.
And I also, at that sentence, give Maria just a bit of a nod.
I don't want to piss you off. I thought you were just coming down here to collect some money.
Come on, give us a hint. Who else is wetting their beaks?
Exactly. You help us, and hey, we help you. That's how it works, right?
You don't want to lose more of your hand, now do you?
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played The Family, a Cults of the Blood Gods chronicle for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Cults of the Blood Gods is published by our friends at Onyx Path Publishing. Our storyteller was the gentleman gamer Matthew Dawkins, and we were also joined by Jason Carl, Klara Herbøl, and Bianca Savazzi. The music was created by Atrium Carceri, featuring many collaborations with other artists from their label Cryo-Chamber. Check them out at cryochamber.bandcamp.com and their YouTube channel for more amazing dark ambient. If you want more Vampire the Masquerade content, don't miss out on our chronicle No Man is an Island, as well as The Sacrifice for Chicago by Night. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, and David, for their generous support. And we would of course like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.